Hi, Ali. Good to see you a third time. How's it going?
Good, everything's good. How are you?
I'm excited that the weather's finally turning and it's an exciting time to be alive.
It's beautiful out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about time, huh? All right. So let's talk a bit about the market here in the Halton region and in Toronto and wherever else you've been.
Yeah, so I would say definitely right now is a great time for people to get into the market. Compared to the beginning of the year, January and early February, we are seeing more listings and there are more things the buyers can choose from. And the market is not as tight. There are enough homes to choose from, and people are starting to be able to buy in a little bit more favorable terms for the buyers. And it's just things are a little bit more relaxed, which is great news for buyers.
All right, fantastic. Good to hear. Now, in terms of bidding wars, are there as many bids on certain properties out there?
That's a great question. So if we were to compare at the beginning of the year, where any home go to the market because the inventory was so low, we were talking about maybe zero point 0.2, 0.3 month of inventory. There was nothing on the market. So any home going to the market, they are going to get a lot of offers. I've seen 20, 30, 40 offers on one property, and it was very tight. So now we are in mid of March. We're seeing, good homes, well priced, good location. They're still getting multiple offers. It's still a very strong sellers market. We're seeing, 3, 4, 5, 6 different offers. Occasionally, we'll see something if it's listed really below the market value. They're really underpriced. We may see maybe 9, 10 offers, but that's a rare situation. And we're also seeing like their homes, if the location is not ideal or if price a little bit higher, they are not getting offers on offer date, which is a really healthy market.
Okay, so it sounds as though investors, maybe first-time home buyers, are looking to take advantage of those low-priced properties, and so that invites more bidders, and therefore that's where it's reflected in the numbers. Now, the difference between the listing price on a property, let's say that's listed at below market value,
Yeah.
is the spread as high as it was in the previous months? For example, are you seeing 200,000, 300,000 over asking?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I'm so glad you asked that. So yeah, basically on a weekly basis, we look at the average sale price versus listing price ratio in this particular neighborhood, in a particular city. And I would say at the beginning of January, early February, we're seeing 20%, 25% over the asking price. And that's an average. Homes are getting that much more over the asking. Now we're seeing 10, 15%-ish over the asking price on average. And that really tells us two things, right? Like one is that homes are not selling as crazy amount, like 500,000 already asking. That's not happening right now. It's more calm, and also at the same time, listing agents they're not as aggressively underprice the properties anymore. They are pricing them intentionally closer to a fair market value.
Okay, good to hear. That was linked to my next question. So what I've noticed in the mortgage field, and now that people are asking questions in regards to making the best of their properties, the further out we go from cities, the more those property values seem to decrease. Whereas, let's say around last year, you could find a property that was way overvalued for the market. It would sell like freshly baked bread. And now that seems to slow down. So there are certain properties that come to market and are not being sold. Are you seeing any of that?
Yeah, we are occasionally. So we do see homes that are I wouldn't necessarily they're not being sold. They're not selling. We're still seeing like a majority of the home go to market. They do sell. It's a matter of whether they sell on offer date or they sell it later on. So quite often we're seeing like offers are not coming in at the expected price on offer date, and then sometimes the listings will adjust their price to the seller's expectation, and then they take offers one-on-one negotiation. Maybe the buyers can even negotiate the price down a little bit, and they end up selling that way. Yeah. So as about for like, areas a little bit further away from the city, I mean, I would say they're still very much in demand. How long that is going to last now that people are starting to go back to the office, it's hard to tell. Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's a good point. So there will be a shift in regards to those who are working from home and those being called back to the office, even though it seems like majority of the people, at least the ones I've interacted with, who prefer to work from home, is going to make a difference in the market. So how about in terms of condos? Have you seen major differences in the condo market?
Yes, they're booming right now. Yeah, if anything, I would say like condo market, especially in major city centers, like whether it's Toronto downtown or Mississauga downtown, we're seeing homes are selling a lot more than they're asking. Again, that is also because a lot of the realtors working in these areas, they are purposefully underpriced a little bit as a pricing strategy. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that's what we're observing right now, and people are starting to head back to the city.
Which is awesome. It's going to be a fun spring, right? I miss
Yeah,
those times walking around just downtown Oakville, for example, and just bumping into people. It was fun. It was a good time. So now it
yeah.
seems like Corona is slowly fading out, and I'm not the only one who feels that way. So let's see.
Oh, I think a lot of people are so excited to get back to the office and being socializing with other people, right? Like that's fun part about working. Get to
Right?
socialize.
Big
Yeah,
part of life that we've missed out on for the past couple of years.
100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. Now let me ask you this. So we talked a little bit about the market. How about in terms of you? What do you have in terms of opportunities? Are you involved in the pre-construction market at all? Are there
Oh,
any projects that
absolutely.
you would like people to know about?
Oh, there are, you know what? That's a really, really good question. We are seeing quite a few really, really good projects coming up. So in City of Oakville, there are a couple, one by Dundas and Trafalgar, one by Bronte and Upper Middle, and also outside of the Halton area in Mississauga by Square One, by Port Credit in Toronto. Like there are quite a few really, really like AAA location projects, and we do have absolutely the first access to these pre-construction projects. And if you get into the right project at the right time, there's a lot of profit to be made.
Okay, good
I'll
to
let
know.
you know
So,
it's no secret.
so to turn that secret into relevant information that could help investors or property owners learn more about them, how would they go about it? Would they have to message you directly, or is there a specific site that you recommend to them? How would they go about that?
Yeah, I always recommend to have a one-on-one conversation first. It's hard to pinpoint what is the best project for them. Is I would say the first step is to understand the investors' needs and wants, like what's important to them, like what are challenges, their lifestyle and things like that, right? Like what is the best investment for them? Might be different for other people. So it's great to have that to start with that one-on-one conversation. Let's pinpoint what is the area that we should look into, and we'll go from there.
Okay, great. So we'll share your information, make sure that everyone's got access to you and they can ask relevant questions about what would be fitting for them. Now,
Yeah,
another
always happy to
question.
help.
Awesome. So another question I have for you is in regards to the down payment. So pre-construction projects, some of them have less than 20% down payment that is spread out throughout a period, depending on however the builder sets it up. Have you seen any changes in that? So 20% used to be the minimum, or at least the market standard, so to say, at least from what I've seen. However, I know there are certain incentives that are given to realtors who have the right connections. Have you seen any changes in terms of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So traditionally, you're right, it's 20%. And we're seeing some projects that they're asking 10%, 15%, and that is absolutely spread over, sometimes a year and a half or maybe 2 years. And that's why a pre-construction project, I should say, is perfect for first-time buyers. That will give them that extra year and a half, 2 years to save on the deposit. And it was also great for investors. You're not paying the 20% all at once, spread over time.
Awesome. So I'll make sure they get in touch with you because it sounds like there still are opportunities out there, despite whatever economists are talking about. So Scotiabank economists recently have talked about how the overnight policy rate will go all the way up to 3%. That creates a bit of fear on the market, I find. And given that there's a war happening on the other side of the ocean, it might just influence things in a different way than we expect them to. So I wouldn't be as scared about real estate slowing down significantly and interest rates being spiked all the way up to Neverland. Let's just say that. Neverland being a place where people don't buy anymore and don't invest anymore. The market can't just fully slow down. It sounds ridiculous. However, these are economists, and Bank of Canada did make some promises that they didn't live up to, and so that invites a bit of fear. And I get that.
Okay. Oh, I agree with you. No, I mean, at the end of the day, in terms of economy per se, like in the whole country or in the whole world, there are always going to be things happening that could positively impact the market or could negatively impact the market. But I say to my clients, whether they're investors or end users or first-time buyers, whatever the situation may be, let's go back to the basic. We're living in a very safe, very stable country, and people are moving into the neighborhood. They're moving into the area. The demand is always there. Long term, when we look at real estate, is always the population growth, and the growth will be there. And they're not making more lands anymore. I'll let you know another secret. So in long run, real estate is one of the safest, whether it's investment or maybe just a means for people to save up on their equity to use them saving or
build
whatever.
Up wealth.
Yeah, exactly.
I 100% agree, and that's why we're doing this. Okay, so not to extend this too far, I want to talk a bit about interest rates and what I've seen in the market. So currently, fixed rate mortgage interest rates are going up. They have been going up. The spread between fixed rates and variable rates is high. So currently fixed rates on average are about 3.35, 3.4%, whereas variables around 2% on average. The next Bank of Canada meeting will take place on April 13th, where another hike is expected in the overnight policy rate, which influences the variable rate. However, fixed interest rates have been going up significantly. And so, as a reminder, as has been the case since December of last year, it's better to get into the market earlier rather than later. That way you can save up money by signing up for a better mortgage product that could save you money in the long run. You had a question.
Yeah, so thank you so much for sharing, the interest rate. And I'm just curious, like with the interest rate going up and probably we're going to see more interest rate going up in the next few months or a few weeks or so. So what will be your suggestion and advice for people who are trying to get into the market now, or whether they're downsizing, upsizing, or maybe investors?
Great question. So fixed interest rates are going up. Variable rates will be going up depending on the meeting of Bank of Canada on April 13th. And so what we've been seeing with current investors and first-time home buyers is that they're looking to get into the market as soon as possible. And I recommend that for anyone out there who is interested in getting in real estate, despite not having the down payment. There are assistance programs in place that are quite beneficial, as these homeowners or these property owners would be building up equity in the long run, thus making a profit. If you want to know more, obviously contact me, and so we can talk about on a case-to-case basis, because it depends from property to property, from financial situation to financial situation. And no two applicants, no two borrowers are alike. Their situation may resemble one another, but getting into the market is still a great idea. It's still a great time to do it. Rates will be going up, and so you'll be saving up money by getting into the market sooner rather than later.
I 100% agree. The best time to get into real estate is always today.
Well said. So in terms of getting into the market, there are lenders that are willing to accept a 20% down payment on a property that is up to $2.25 million. Earlier in the year, the maximum you could have probably afforded with a 20% down payment would have been $1.4 to $1.7 million, sometimes on an exception basis. Nowadays, depending on the area, and usually this is around metropolitan centers, so big cities, that lenders are willing to give out more of a loan, which is a mortgage, right? That's what a mortgage is, a real estate loan, they're willing to give out more of a loan with a lower down payment. And I find that that's pretty great for investors and first-time home buyers alike. Both Ali and I here, we're interested in helping you build wealth. And so if you want to get in touch with us, our information will be shared with you. Reach us anytime you'd like, and we'll make sure to get back to you with relevant information. Thank you for joining me today, Ali. This has been wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing the information. It's super helpful.
Likewise. All right,
I always learn
everybody.
so much when I talk to you.
Well, the point is to enjoy doing this. And we do it for our viewers. We do it for people to learn that there are ways to build wealth in this real estate market, despite however many conditions might seem to influence us not to take action. So go ahead, take action. Thank you for watching our video, and we'll see you next time.